What does it actually look like when someone comes back from the worst stretch of their career, and instead of easing their way back in, they walk straight into a Team USA training camp and take it over? Not slowly, not quietly, but immediately. Because that's exactly what Caitlin Clark just did. After 8 months away from competitive basketball, 8 months of injuries, setbacks, and uncertainty, she stepped back onto the court. And within days, she wasn't just participating, she was the player everyone was watching. The shots were falling. The pace was different. The energy shifted. And maybe most importantly, the people around her, the veterans, the stars, the competitors, started reacting in a way that told you everything you needed to know. Okay, she's different now. So let's really break this down. Not just what happened, but what changed, what she went through to get here, and why this moment feels a lot bigger than just a strong training camp performance. Start here, before the comeback, before the highlights, before the attention. Go back to 2025, because if you don't understand that season, you won't understand why this moment matters so much. From the outside, people saw missed games. They saw updates. They saw timelines. But what they didn't fully see was the experience of living through it. Because this wasn't one injury. It wasn't clean. It wasn't predictable. It was one issue, followed by another, followed by another. And that's a completely different kind of challenge. Because when you suffer a major injury with a clear timeline, there's a strange kind of clarity in that. You know what you're dealing with. You know the process. You can mentally prepare. But that's not what this was. This was uncertainty. This was thinking you're close and then getting pulled back again. This was ramping up only to shut it down over and over. And that's the part that starts to wear on you mentally. Because physical pain is one thing. But doubt is different. And she admitted that. She said the injuries messed with her mind. And when a player like Caitlin Clark says that, it matters. Because this is someone who didn't ease into professional basketball. She arrived and immediately took control. Confidence has always been part of her identity. So when that identity gets shaken, even a little, it's not a small thing. It forces you to ask questions you're not used to asking. Am I still the same player? Will I feel like myself again? Can I trust my body? And those questions don't go away overnight. Now here's where the story shifts. Because a lot of players come back from that kind of season just trying to return to normal, just trying to get back to where they were. That's the goal. That's the expectation. But that's not what she said. She didn't say she's back to normal. She didn't say she's close to where she was. She said she's better than she was at the beginning of last season. And that's a completely different mindset. Because now this isn't a comeback. It's a transformation. Think about what that actually means. 8 months. No games. No spotlight. Just work. Rehab, yes, but more than that. Rebuilding your body from the ground up. Reconditioning. Refining skills. Strengthening the small things that don't show up on highlight reels. And maybe most importantly, resetting mentally. Because when your rhythm gets interrupted like that, you don't just pick it back up. You rebuild it. Shot by shot. Rep by rep. Day by day. And when she talked about putting herself in the best possible shape she could be in, you could tell this wasn't about being healthy enough. This was about being ready. Fully ready. Now, take that version of her and drop it into a Team USA training camp. This isn't a casual environment. This isn't a light run. This is one of the most competitive spaces in basketball. Elite players, veterans, young stars, everyone fighting for roles, minutes, and trust. And on top of that, 5 games in 7 days. That's not just skill. That's conditioning. That's mental sharpness. That's adaptability. So the question going in was simple. What would she look like? Would she be cautious? Would she hesitate? Would she ease into it? Because that's what most players do after a long layoff. Even if they feel good, there's a natural instinct to protect yourself. You see it in small ways. Passing up a shot you normally take. Slowing down a drive. Thinking for a split second longer than usual. And at this level, that split second matters. But that's not what happened. From the moment she stepped on the floor, there was no hesitation. The shot? Clean. Consistent. Confident. Not forced. Not rushed. Just natural. And in live action, it showed even more. She wasn't waiting for things to develop. She was making them happen. Pushing pace. Reading defenses quickly. Making decisions without second-guessing. And that's the biggest sign. Because confidence isn't just about making shots. It's about how quickly you decide. And she looked decisive from day one. Then came the moment that changed the energy of the entire gym. A game winner in drills. Now, normally, that doesn't mean much. It's practice. Players hit shots all the time. But this one felt different. Because of the reaction, teammates celebrating, energy rising. The kind of response you usually only see in real games. And that tells you something. That wasn't about the shot itself. That was about what it represented. She wasn't there to test herself. She wasn't there to slowly find her footing. She was there to compete. And everyone felt it. And when players at that level start noticing, that's when it becomes real. Because this isn't media hype. This isn't fan excitement. This is peer recognition. When players like Paige Buchers and Kelsey Plum say, she looks different, that carries weight. Because they understand the details. They see the footwork, the timing, the rhythm, the confidence, and they know how hard that is to get back after time away. So when they say it, it means something. Now let's talk about the environment itself. Because context matters. This wasn't a relaxed camp. This was intense from day one. Multiple games in a short window. Constant evaluation. Constant competition. Every possession matters. Every decision matters. And she walked into that after 8 months away and didn't look out of place. She looked ready. And not just ready to play. Ready to lead. And that leadership piece is important. Because her game has always had scoring. That's never been the question. But what showed up at this camp was something deeper. Control. Pace management. Decision-making under pressure. The ability to run an offense without forcing anything. That's what separates great players from complete players. And that's what started to show. Now, go back to her interview. Because what she said matters just as much as what she did. When she talked about wearing the USA jersey, it sounded like something you've heard before. A dream. A pinch-me moment. Something every athlete says. But in this case, it hit differently. Because of what came before it. This is someone who had to wait. Who had to sit out. Who had to watch. Who didn't get that Olympic moment. And instead of turning that into frustration or bitterness, she turned it into appreciation, excitement, joy. And that mindset changes everything. Because energy like that spreads. In a locker room, on a court, in a team environment, people respond to it. And they responded to her quickly. She also made something very clear. This isn't the end goal. This is the beginning. 2028 is the real target. The Olympics in Los Angeles. That's the bigger picture. And when you have that kind of long-term vision, it changes how you approach the present. You don't force moments. You build toward them. You use every opportunity as preparation. And that's exactly what this camp is for her. Now zoom out. Because this isn't just about Team USA. This is about what comes next. Because everything she's doing here comes back with her. Back to Indiana. Back to her team. Back to a system that struggled without her. Because last season wasn't just difficult for her. It affected everything. The offense lost its structure. Teammates couldn't fully play their roles. The rhythm wasn't the same. And that's what happens when your primary playmaker is gone. So now imagine that same team. But with this version of her. Healthier. Sharper. More experienced. More in control. That changes everything. Because now it's not just about scoring. It's about elevating everyone else. Creating easier opportunities. Setting tempo. Making the game simpler for the players around her. And that's what great floor generals do. And off the court, there's growth too. The way she's handled pressure. The way she's handled conversations around the league. Calm. Measured. Team first. That's leadership. And leadership isn't loud all the time. Sometimes it's consistency. Sometimes it's focus. Sometimes it's just showing up the same way every day. So when you put all of this together, what you're seeing right now isn't just a comeback. It's something more. It's a shift. A step forward. A version of a player that's been refined by everything she went through. Because the injuries didn't just take time away. They added something. Perspective. Focus. Drive. And that shows up in how she plays now. And the people around her, they're starting to see it. That's the real takeaway. Because the first ones to recognize change at this level are the players sharing the court with you. And right now, they're noticing. So if you're watching this as a fan, whether you follow her team, whether you follow Team USA, or whether you just appreciate high-level basketball, this is a moment worth paying attention to. because it doesn't feel like she's just coming back. It feels like she's arriving. Again, but different, better, more complete. And if this is what she looks like now, then what comes next might be even bigger. Because this version of Caitlin Clark, it might just be the best one yet. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next.